All right, guys. Fula coming to you with another commentary. So this commentary is just going to show that basically the the law enforcement is against you as a black man, and also that feminism and giving women the freedom that they have has led to the point where you can it'll cost you your life. It'll cost you your life as a man, even if you're trying to de-escalate a situation without physically getting violent. It has also allowed women to be very aggressive, meaning physically aggressive. So let's go into this. So the background story of this happened about a month ago. Um, a man calls the the man calls the police officer on his wife, who is physically assaulting him. So I say this to say that women have now free reign to think that they can like man up to a guy. You know what I mean? And if that guy responds, he's gonna end up getting washed up, even if he's defending himself. But let's continue.
Chicago Emergency Johnson. Hello. Do you need the police? Yes or no?
Hello? I need the police over here. My wife got a knife on me on the bed right now.
She has a knife on you?
Yeah.
So the knife is to your throat, but you... Okay. What's your name?
Yeah.
And what's your wife's name? And what's your name?
So even when you listen to the dispatcher, she sounds kind of condescending. You know what I mean? She doesn't even sound like she is into any urgency to help this man out. You know, she even sounds like kind of condescending, like, oh, we got another one. You know what I mean?
Michael Craig.
Okay, Michael. All right, you called already. The police are...
officers out here?
Yes. Make sure you answer any blocked or private numbers. The police are going to come. Your number...
Yeah.
Okay. Be looking out for the police, okay?
All right.
Okay, bye.
And my kids up in here, they scared.
How many kids you got?
One right now, here at the house. The other one's going to school.
Okay, gotcha. Be looking out for the police.
And so one thing that we have to understand too is that the mother doesn't care about the trauma that she causes her kids in doing these kind of actions. You know, imagine like you being in a house and you're a kid and you're seeing this in between your mother and your father's. You know what I mean? That changes your psyche. That changes the way you look at things, you know?
She got the knife around my neck right now. I can't move. If I move, she gonna kill me.
Okay. Listen to the police.
And I got the front door open. Tell the officers the door is open.
The door is
my
open?
My kids open the door. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Go downstairs so you can let the police in. Go. Do what?
So that's probably the kid that he's talking to, telling the kid to let the police in, you know?
I tell you. Go downstairs.
Okay, all right, bye.
here's the kid. Here's the police coming up, and as you see, they have their tasers drawn, or something like that is drawn. So they're already getting ready to, you know, let off, basically.
Are you hurt? Are you hurt? Are you okay?
Yes, 634.
He's bleeding. He's cut.
So when you do things like this, these are the kind of consequences that come with it. You know, police get involved and you get endings like that. Now, let's go to something who has a little bit more detail in it. Shout outs to Pink Book Lessons. Shout outs to Pink Book Lessons for this. But I think she breaks it down a little bit more. Let's check it out.
And I got the front door open. Tell the officer.
Before we get into this story, listen to his father's orders to go downstairs and hold the door open for police. 2 officers arrived on scene less than 10 minutes later. His son was there at the front of the building waiting on them. You could hear them asking the boy, "Does anyone have a knife? Who has a knife?" And the child replies, "My mama." The officer continues, "What is she doing with the knife? Do you know what she's doing with the knife? Who told you to call?" The boy replies, "My daddy." Police asked him which apartment was it and told him to wait at the front. You could hear Michael yelling for help, saying that she had a butcher knife to his back. Officers walked in, Michael already bleeding after being cut several times.
So she already cut him before the officers came. You know what I mean? I don't really know the backstory to this. I don't know if there was domestic violence involved on his end, if he did something. I seriously doubt it. If he's calling the cops on her, you know, that doesn't sound like someone who, you know, be knocking his wife upside the head. So, I don't know.
Officer had the taser in his left hand, the gun in his right. Michael was yelling in pain. She was poking him with the knife. But instead of shooting her, the officer shot Michael.
Oh, so it looks like he not only, it looks like he actually shot him with live rounds. I thought she tased him, or the officer tased him at first, but it looks like he also shot him with the gun.
That's when the officer picked up the knife, pulled the woman away from Michael, and said, "Are you okay? Where did he stab you?" The lady said nothing.
So you see that basically, as men, we're in a lose-lose situation. A woman can assault us, right? And if we defend ourselves back, we will be either A, washed up, or B, killed like this guy. Women can literally now make something up out of thin air and we can still get in trouble for what she made up. This is the point it's gotten to, you know.
It's captured on video, by the way. I'll leave the links to the videos below in the description. But you have Michael here. He's having a DV situation. Cops are called. He told them the woman was a suspect. When they got there, the son confirmed that it was his mama with a knife, attempting to hurt his dad. Then you heard Michael say it again when they entered the apartment. All of that, and they still saw her as the victim? How?
Yeah, it looks like they shot him in the... They may have shot him in the throat, too. It looks like that. Looks like they hit him in the throat. Didn't look like they hit him in the back.
It only took a couple of seconds, and Michael was gone. His family described him as a kind, soft-spoken man with a big heart who was well known in his neighborhood. He would pick up trash off the ground to keep the neighborhood looking nice. If he saw someone carrying bags, he would help them. If someone was out there crying, he would ask them what's going on, what's wrong with them. An everyday working man, he made an honest living. Michael was a building custodian. According to one of his family members, he and his wife had been married several years, and they had a previous incident where she stabbed him multiple times.
So, in the previous, in a way, it's kind of his fault, too. You know, I hate to say it, but it's kind of his fault. If this has happened before, you gotta leave. You know, don't stay around. Don't try to change her. If a woman shows you who she is, man, just leave, bro. It's not worth it. If she shows you who she is the first time, just leave, man. You don't want to get caught up like that, man. You don't want to be in a situation like this. You gotta just leave. That's gonna be the best thing for you.
After what she did to him before, Michael stayed with her because of their 7-year-old son. He wanted to keep their family together.
Sometimes you gotta do what's logical and not what's in your emotions. So sometimes you may have to separate the family for the health.
As other officers and detectives arrived on scene, that's when the cover-up started. For starters, you may be wondering, where is the mugshot? Or what's the suspect's name? Well, this is why. I'll leave the link below to this document as well. You're looking at the original incident report from the Chicago Police Department. Victim Michael A. Craig, born in 1960, 61 years old, 5'6", 168 pounds. Suspect, black female, 5'6", 183 pounds. Born in 1989, 32 years old. As you can see here, her name was covered up. They are protecting her identity, just like they protected her when they got to the apartment when she was the problem.
So as you see, as I said before, the whole law enforcement is set up for you to not get a fair shake. The whole law enforcement, the whole legal system caters to women no matter what they do, even when they're in the wrong. This is what this story is showing you right now.
Michael left out the house in a body bag while they transported this woman to the hospital who was already in good condition. Nothing wrong with her. Just a woman who stabbed a man for the second time. Because remember, this isn't the first time she's done this. according to the family. Then get this, they did not take her to jail. They took her to a mental health facility. Meanwhile, you got all of these officers here. Here's a list of all of the officers and detectives on scene. You can also click the link below to get this too. By looking at this list, you can't really tell which officer it was. Officer Ricky Thompson, he's listed as the reporting officer. He's a black man. But if you look at the video, the officer who shot him was not black.
So as you see, they will cover up their dirt. You know what I mean? Even when they're in the wrong, they'll cover up their dirt, basically. Even if it means letting the real suspect go, free.
Who was the officer? Well, his name is hiding in plain sight. Alberto Covarrubias. Here's another piece of the cover-up. In the report, Officer Alberto listed Michael A. Craig as the subject. I want to bring your attention to this part here. Was subject armed with a weapon? The officer checked yes. What weapon was it? He checked knife.
You see what I'm saying? You see this. You see what's going on in plain sight. Listen, I'm going to just say this. I'm not telling you to be beta. I'm not telling you to be docile. But when a woman rises up at you, and when a woman raises her voice or tries to get in your face, just walk away. Just walk the hell away. Okay? It's not worth it. You can put her in, you can verbally say something, but say it from a distance. Don't say it from, don't say it too close. Say it close enough for them to hear you, but not for them to, for them to like be able to like hit you or something like that.
Why would he write in his report that Michael A. Craig was armed with a knife when from the initial 911 call, you can hear it was his wife who had the knife? They also heard him say it on the scene, on the body cam. The little boy also told him that his mama had the knife, not his dad. But in this report, Officer Alberto, he lied and said that Michael had a knife. And the lies didn't stop here. He checked that Michael did not follow verbal direction. He checked that Michael was a threat. He checked physical attack with weapon. He also checked that Michael used force to cause death or great bodily harm. About Officer Alberto, he wasn't even supposed to be working with the Chicago Police Department. He had a case with the Chicago Police Board. They did an investigation on him in 2018, where the superintendent signed this document saying that he should be terminated. All of this comes from an incident about 2 years prior in 2016. The police board conducted this investigation. They said on Saturday, March 26, 2016, that Officer Alberto caused a disturbance. He got into it with another man, Guadalupe Morales, and the police had to be called on the police officer. Officers detained him when they arrived on scene. He threatened.
So this just goes to show you too that a lot of these police officers are shouldn't even be police officers. A lot of these police officers are mentally unstable themselves. A lot of these police officers, especially those who come back from, let's say, like military duty, doing a line of duty in, like, let's say, Iraq or Afghanistan, a lot of those who come back, they are not mentally stable enough to be police officers. You know what I mean? That just goes to show you that they don't really, police officers don't really screen as well as we think they do, you know?
To kick the officer's A and was cursing at him, being combative. He also stole some of the officer's paperwork. Because he was an officer, they originally put him in the front seat of the car instead of the back. His sergeant arrived on scene and gave him a direct order to submit to a breathalyzer as a part of their administrative investigation, and he refused. The sergeant reported that he was intoxicated, and Officer Alberto, he did not want to cooperate with the investigation. In their report, they found that he broke 8 rules, including disobedience of an order or directive, disrespect or maltreatment of any person while on or off duty, engaging in verbal and physical altercation with another person, and they cited that he broke this rule, intoxication on or off duty. All of this led to the superintendent recommending Officer Alberto's termination. A couple of years later, he's still there, shot Michael Craig in 2021, and attempted to cover it up by saying that Michael was the aggressor. As for Officer Ricky, he was there with Officer Alberto, and it looks like he's a part of the cover-up too. So you have this
So even it's gotten to a point where another black man seeing that his fellow black man is going through it will still side with the wrong side, will not stand for what's right, and will say, well, oh well, you know, survival of the fittest. I gotta basically, you know, cover my ass, even if that means covering up the truth.
identified black woman, she's the suspect, but she's being treated like a victim, working in cahoots with these officers, and that's why the family had to hire a lawyer to hold them accountable. I would recommend criminal charges and conviction of Officer Alberto and the wife. Take her out of that mental facility and put her in jail. That's where she's supposed to be. She was a toxic woman. She had already stabbed Michael before, but he survived it. And if I knew Michael then, I would have told him to leave that Cruella alone. And you know, I'm sure his...
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. Like, if it happens one time, you just gotta go. You can't let it, you can't be forgiven, you know. It's gotten to the point for me, like, you know, and it's sad to say it, but even when it comes to westernized African women and stuff like that who have been totally westernized, it only, like for me, I cut them all off because of things they did. It only takes one thing for me. Once they show who they are the first time, I'm out. I'll cut you off. I will cut you completely off and not think anything of it.
family told him the same, but people, they think with their hearts. He wanted to keep his family together. You cannot have a family with a woman disrespecting you or stabbing you. We all see what happened here. The family that Michael thought he had is gone. And the 7-year-old, he is left alone without both parents. He's back at school, and I'm hoping they get counseling for him.
Yeah, that's the tough thing about him, the kids, like, and the sad thing is that this is just gonna breed more like kids that will be geared towards self-destruction, you know. But this just goes to show you a Western woman thinks about herself before she thinks about anybody else. And this just goes to show you that Western women don't really think about the consequences of their actions. They just execute it and then the consequences are an afterthought.
Condolences to Michael Craig's whole family. I hope they continue to fight.
And that's pretty much it, guys. And the moral of this commentary is just be careful out there, man. Just really be careful. These women are evil, conniving, sadistic, and have no morals anymore. So just stay prayed up and really look for God to show you signs which will save your life when dealing with them, if you decide to deal with them, which I don't recommend you do deal with the Wicked Witch of the West. I recommend you don't deal with the Wicked Witch of the West. But if you decide to try to deal with them, when God sends you the first sign, leave immediately. Fool is signing out. Njah Rama.